Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. You all must be aware of most of the modern weaponry used today for warfare. But weapons were not so modern in the past, obviously. And to see how they differed from what is used today, stay tuned till the end, as we show you the most recent archaeological weapon discoveries. Here are 10 recent weapon discoveries from our long-buried past. Number 10. Green glass spearhead. Students from the University of Western Australia got a powerful reminder of their country's history during a trip to Rottnest Island, offshore from Perth, where they spotted a striking spearhead fashioned from green glass. The strange thing about it is that green glass isn't found in Australia. So how did it get there? Well, the answer lies in the island's troubled history. It's not the prettiest story. You see that it is a beautiful tourist destination now, but as recently as 100 years ago, things weren't the same, and it had a darker purpose. The other name for the island was Wajamup, an Aboriginal word that means a place across the water where the spirits are. This island was used as a prison for the Aborigines between 1838 and 1931, and about 4,000 prisoners were kept there, who were all male and were mostly abandoned to their fate. The emerald green glass spearhead is thought to be about 100 years old and an exceptional example of the craft practiced by the detained Aborigines. The glass most likely came from the ships and was hidden by the prisoners to be used as a weapon or trade among themselves. They were typically known to make spearheads out of glass in order to use them to hunt. After discovering the spearhead, the students observed a native tradition and then buried it. It gave them fascinating, if not tragic, insights into the treatment of Aborigines by the Australian authorities, and the discovery was disclosed to the public eye. Number 9. Shark tooth weapons. In 2012, experts got a surprise when researching the ecology of the Gilbert Islands. They're located in the central Pacific Ocean, and the local craft involved making weapons using shark's teeth. The islanders would start with a buttress made of wood, which they would then attach the ultra-sharp teeth to using cords made from coconut leaves. The weapons, which are said to be 100 years old, appear pretty intimidating. By studying a bunch of artifacts found at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, conservation biologist Joshua Drew realized that some of the teeth he was looking at belonged to sharks that were not found in the waters of the Gilbert Islands anymore. In fact, he identified 3 species that were used for weapons, which included the big-nosed shark, the dusky shark, and the spot-tail shark. It's thought that humans littering the sea are the reason they died out, but now it is hoped that data could be used to produce better environments for both humans and sharks. Number 8. Dirty Harry slingshot. In 2017, at a field in Burnswork near Edinburgh, the area would have witnessed the Roman army building Hadrian's Wall and pushing back the natives as they went. This naturally led to some pretty nasty confrontations, which became even nastier by the use of a slingshot that pitched lead projectiles weighing about 50 grams at the enemy with devastating results. It is claimed that a shot can strike a target at a distance of about 130 yards. Using metal detectors, researchers uncovered over 400 bullets, together with a pair of ballista balls. Sounds weird, but the impact they caused on a poor native skull wasn't weird at all. The balls were made up of sandstone, and if that doesn't sound intimidating enough, let us tell you that there were holes made into the bullets so that they made crazy banshee noises when fired. It is still not clear if the area was a battlefield or if the Romans used it as a training ground. But no matter what the area was used for, we all have to agree that the slingshot was one heck of a weapon. Number 7. The obsidian of Easter Island. Up until a couple of years ago, it was believed that the Rapa Nui people of Easter Island in the southeastern Pacific Ocean died because of conflict. They apparently used up all their resources and turned on each other, leading to their demise. This was based on what appeared to be weaponry called mata'a, made from obsidian or volcanic glass, found across the length and breadth of the area. But everything changed as the weapons in question were actually revealed to be something else. Experts at Binghamton University in New York made a close inspection of the weapons and realized that they were designed in the same way as traditional weaponry, and despite looking pretty vicious, it turned out that they were not very effective at causing wounds. It is believed that the obsidian weaponry in question would work better as tools. And about the Rapa Nui dying out, we'd say that they were pretty successful as a nation. But one thing that did affect their numbers, however, was the arrival of Europeans in the early 1700s, when imported disease and slave trade proved to be the demise of the Easter Islanders. Number 6. The reign of Genghis Khan. It's generally accepted that Genghis Khan, the Mongol ruler, was one dude you didn't want to mess with. We certainly wouldn't want to argue with him anyway. The founding of the Mongol Empire was one of the most effective examples of military might the world has ever seen. Yet it would not have been possible without the right weather conditions. Yes, that's right. Genghis Khan had a good fortune with a whole lot of rain that helped him do his conquering. But how was that possible? Well, before his reign, or perhaps that should be reign, the 13th century Mongolia was extremely dry and suffering from droughts. Then, the heavens opened up, and the extended spell of rains came down together with increased temperatures that led to a sudden spurt of grass. Without this significant development, which hadn't happened for over 1,000 years, Genghis Khan would not have been able to inspire the Mongol tribes to join the forces and take control. Number 5. Tomb triggers of Emperor Qin Huang. The resting place of Qin Huang, or China's first emperor as he was better known, captured the imaginations of archaeologists when his mausoleum was discovered in the 1970s. The distinctive image of 8,000 terracotta warriors was truly a sight to behold. The first emperor ruled over China from 246 BC, and of course wanted his tomb to be the biggest and the best. A reported 700,000 people worked on the project in a strict social context, where collective responsibility remained the key. While the warriors remained standing, crucial pieces of the Qin dynasty had disintegrated over time, which included pieces like weaponry held by the statues, and all that was left of the crossbows was bronze triggers, which shows how much time and effort went into making them. This attention to detail is impressive, with each trigger comprised of 5 parts. The only mystery here is how they were created in the first place. In 2014, a team had a proper look at the triggers and established that they were produced in an assembly line process. Number 4. Viking knockoff swords. Old Viking swords can be found in various museums and collections around the world. They certainly look the part, but around a decade ago, people began noticing something strange about some of the blades. It turns out they were counterfeit. But you want to know the really strange thing? They're still original Viking swords. And if you're confused at this point, you probably should be. Just like today, knockoff swords were produced to plug gaps in the market, which was due to an 11th century trade war, where Russia closed off the access to the Vikings' source of high-quality steel. But the difference between the real ones and the counterfeit was significant, though you actually wouldn't notice if you went into combat. Number 3. Megalithic crystal weaponry. When exploring tombs from the megalithic era in Spain, archaeologists unearthed a truly astounding discovery: 5,000-year-old weapons fashioned from rock crystal. These were hidden inside chambers made of slate slabs that gave them clues about the elite society entombed at the site of Valencia de la Concepcion. The beautiful-looking, deadly items, which included arrowheads and daggers, were located alongside the remains of people who had apparently committed suicide as part of a ritual. One particularly intriguing find would be connected to the dagger, 13 millimeters thick and 59 millimeters wide, with an eye-watering 214 millimeters length. It is thought that these crystal weapons were the preserve of the rich and powerful because they took a lot of time, effort, and precious resources to make. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it on a future video. Number 2. This seems like a photoshopped image, as we couldn't find anything related to it on the internet. It seems like a claw-like weapon, which people used centuries back for hunting. Unfortunately, there isn't any information or public record about this type of weapon. If you know what it is, let us know in the comments. Number 1. Mountain sword. Climate change is generally a bad thing for the planet, but it does have unexpected side effects. In terms of archaeology, the melting of snow and ice can reveal stuff from thousands of years ago that people had never possibly thought about. Such a thing was found in 2017 on a mountain in Norway by a reindeer hunter, and it was an 1100-year-old Viking sword, which doesn't sound wonderful on its own, but considering the fact that any kind of blade hadn't ever been spotted at that altitude before, it was an incredible discovery. Here we're talking about approximately 5,000 meters above sea level. Yes, a Viking sword was lying up there for all these years. The other thing that grabbed experts' attention was that the sword appeared to be pretty well preserved, despite being there for so long. Which archaeological discovery was your favorite? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.